Good morning, everybody from Manchester. Welcome along to another Manchester United show here on Forever United TV, bringing you completely up to date with all the latest in and out of the football club. Michael Carrick spoke yesterday, made it very clear where he stands on certain players, what's going on at Manchester United. One of the longest press conferences we've seen from a manager in a very long time. The previous manager did not like to sit there for too long in front of the media and give too much away. And that's caused the problems behind the scenes regarding the likes of Kobbie Mainoo, and what hasn't been said has got the rumours flowing. Now, there is a report that I want to get into this morning that's come from Simon Jones of the Daily Mail, which pretty much, in some people's eyes, and I say some, because I want to open this up to a debate this morning, it could make some people feel like the real problem was Ruben Amorim. But I'll explain what's been said and I'll explain the report, and then you make your mind up of where we're actually at the moment, because there is a different side to this as well. We've seen one brilliant game from Kobbie Mainoo, and everybody's thinking, well, not everybody, but I think a lot of people have got carried away, myself included, with a brilliant performance. And we're allowed to. We've not seen much in terms of positivity on the pitch for a long time. We would like to see more of it, I think, is what we've said from that Manchester City game. And obviously tomorrow's match against Arsenal is going to be another huge test for these players. But Kobbie Mainoo in focus, and what happened while Ruben Amorim was in charge, has come back up again in the news and in the reports. I said this before, when Ruben leaves, we'll start to get all of the stories and everything else that comes out from the media and what happened before, because it's easier to report about something when somebody's not there, of course. So that's our main focus this morning. Give me your comments in on that. If you're catching up later on, pop them into the comment section as well, everybody. Also, Manchester United's investigation into the leaks, and the leaks coming out before the Manchester derby. The same reporter who actually posted that bit of news was the same reporter who posted the leaked team news. Yes, I'll give you two guesses who that is. We'll talk about what's going on with that there. Benjamin Sesko has opened up on his crazy first 6 months at Manchester United, where he's seen 3 different managers at the football club. He's been talking, and Man United's young kids under 18s went through in the FA Youth Cup last night as well. Good on them. We'll touch on that. So we'll look ahead a little bit to tomorrow's huge clash as well and get your opinions on that. Just on that quickly, before we get into all the nitty gritty and all the news, don't forget this weekend we have our Prediction League back on. There's loads of you who have already joined in the Prediction League. There are your options up on the screen right now, everybody. Get involved in that. All you have to do, if you want to be in with a chance of winning 25k, yes, 25k this week, because we're about to do the January draw for anyone who has participated in this prediction game. All you need to do to be involved in the Arsenal game this weekend is select 2 of the predictions up on your screen right there. It could be any of the 2, doesn't matter. A simple yes or no answer to them predictions, like will Gabriel score a goal, yes or no? Do you think Man United's backline is going to get another clean sheet? You would put no on that instantly. Is he even going to start? So does that give you a chance to win straight away with that? Because you can also wager yourself up on this as well as you put your predictions in, and maybe give yourself a little bit of an earner while being in the competition for 25k. Get your predictions in now. The leaderboard is starting to grow already. We've got plenty in. We've got 2 more days worth yet to grow this. So we want to be getting as many people in as we possibly can. And alongside all of them prizes, there have been many people who have also won shirts courtesy of our matchday sponsors there as well. OK Jerseys, bottom left-hand corner of your screen. The link for them is in the description as well, everybody. Get your discounted merch there. Now, all the replica kits that you could want for any club. International training kits. There is some banging new hoodies and windbreakers in there as well, everyone. Get involved. There have been plenty of people actually getting involved in the competition, actually, because we've had so many. I mean, last time out against Manchester City, we had over 50 people join the game. Not many people predicted the right predictions because no one was backing United. At that point, we never knew what was coming. So, yeah, do you fancy your chances this week? Do you think that Manchester United have got it in them to do the same again? Get your predictions in now, like many others did last week, and be with a chance of winning a prize 3 different ways. Into the news we go, everyone. Let's get on to it and let's talk Kobbie Mainoo, everyone. Get into the comment section. Let me know what you're thinking about this, because I'll first of all just read out the report, and here's what's happened. This comes from Simon Jones, and I had to double check this account as well, because he hasn't got many followers, so I'm thinking this is a fake account, but it looks like he's opened up a brand new account on X, and he's taken an extract from his article in the Daily Mail and talked about Kobbie Mainoo's contract situation, what was and what is now. So it reads, Manchester United are prepared to return to contract talks for midfielder Kobbie Mainoo following confirmation of Casemiro's departure. Obviously, there was the ripple effect from Casemiro's announcement the other day. Mainoo has been brought back into the fold by interim boss Michael Carrick, and plans to move to Napoli on loan have been shelved. Obviously, we know about that. And entering January, there were talks that Kobbie was looking for an exit. That's not happening now. A new contract was agreed. This is where it gets interesting. A new contract was agreed last year, but Ruben Amorim did not sign it off. Mainoo has 18 months left on his contract, plus the option of a further year, but is not on parity with other first team players. So, as in, like what we've reported before from The Athletic, Kobbie Mainoo's stance, or his representative stance, is that he should be earning similar to other players in the team, first team players. But he has gone for the big gun players' contracts. Bruno, Rashford, Casemiro, Mason Mount, them types of contracts, instead of the Amads and the Yoros, similar age to him, who are not on as much as them players. So this is the standoff that we've discussed all the time. Interestingly though, and this is where I want your thoughts on this, are you looking at Ruben Amorim differently right now? And this isn't me having a go at Ruben Amorim. Look, each manager likes certain players, and it's up to them to pick the players that they want. Not everybody's going to play under a different manager. If someone else came in the end of the season, they might not play Kobbie Mainoo. Look, we just don't know. So I'm not having a go at Ruben Amorim here. But do you look at this situation and Ruben Amorim, before talking about players for the future of Manchester United, not just for the now, is he going back on his word there in not picking Kobbie Mainoo? Has he allowed his personal spat, which he never alluded to or talked about, so now is real? Has he let that take over his judgment of not signing off on this? There is another angle on this as well, which I think might intrigue a few people and interest a few. So get your opinions in on this, please. We're going to come right into the chat in a moment on it. If there is a contract agreed, so what usually happens, and we've looked at this before, and it's been talked about before, I think Romano has done it, even Ornstein has said this, there are three parties to every contract agreement on a player: the club, the players' representatives, and then the head coach, manager, whoever that is. There was lots of this when we were talking about the so-called veto of Ten Hag, that he's not going to be allowed now with any new manager coming into Manchester United. So looking at this, it looks like obviously the representatives of Kobbie Mainoo have agreed to this. The club have agreed to this. You can only assume this because all the report is saying, and it is just off this report, by the way, not that I've been told anything or there's any other news. This is all on Simon Jones, who has put himself out there with this article by saying this. He says that it was Ruben Amorim that did not sign off on it. Now, if he didn't sign off on it, then that is something that he doesn't like with the player, clearly. But also, does it show, and this was the other point I'm making, that the club had already agreed this contract and have gone above the manager in saying that they're happy for Kobbie Mainoo to stay? Was this a club against manager situation which has developed to this point now, where Ruben wasn't willing to be flexible with anything, whether it be player or formation, and the club have just gone in and made their thoughts clear to him? We want to sign Kobbie Mainoo. This could have happened in that meeting with Jason Wilcox. Speculation, of course, yes, and my opinion alone, but it gets you thinking when reports like this come out that maybe something like this was going on behind the scenes also. If there are clubs, representatives saying that they want to sign Kobbie Mainoo and Ruben Amorim doesn't want him as part of his future, is happy for him to leave, then, and we've seen them reports come out from the same publication, the Daily Mail as well, that United were willing to actually sell Kobbie Mainoo in the summer. If that is the case there, have the club already gone above the manager? And is this the future of this football club right now, that the manager is always going to have decisions made above his head? And maybe this is the changing of what happens when players come to be signed or contracts extended. They're taking the coach out. And we've read reports on this already where Manchester United are actually trying to eradicate that manager input, that coach input. They need to work alongside the director of football, Jason Wilcox, head of recruitment, Christopher Vivell, and work alongside that football structure for the club. So this story has kind of opened up a different kind of worms, really, and a lot more to discuss, because this, I think, is definitely going to play a part on future players who are signing new contracts, who are obviously going to be brought into the club via transfers as well, just off the back of the club making a decision on Casemiro. Now, obviously, Casemiro could have got a new deal at Manchester United, but the club have made a decision with no coach there. It's like Carrick said, they'd already said that that decision was made. So that decision was made while Ruben Amorim was also in charge. That's been made quite clear now because Carrick said it in his press conference yesterday. So United have said that Carrick's leaving, no contracts. Forget about the coach. United have said that they're happy to give Kobbie Mainoo this deal according to Simon Jones, but Ruben Amorim isn't happy with it. That's the only stance he's got and the only fight he's got, and it just looks like he's lashing out to me. Like, you could say that I'm making quite a lot of this, and there's probably not much to it, but I think there really is, because Kobbie did not play. He didn't play for the first half of the season. It's only since Michael Carrick's come in that he started a Premier League game. The first Premier League start of the season has come in game week 22. Now that tells me that Ruben had an issue with Kobbie Mainoo. That tells me that if there was a contract on the table, it was agreed by the club and the representatives of Kobbie. So, again, are we worried about what the club are going to do with the next manager in obviously overpowering him and saying that this is going to happen? You don't have a say in what happens with players. You're a coach and you just got to coach these players. We're going to bring them in. Or are you looking at Ruben's stubbornness just with one player and his lack of flexibility within the whole structure and the system of what Manchester United were playing and what the hierarchy wanted? Is that the bigger problem here? Let's get into the comments on this because we've got quite a lot to talk about in the show this morning. And so let's get this rolling and let's get into it and give me your thoughts on this. And be completely honest, don't hold back. Obviously, don't agree with me and what I'm saying. I've just opened this up on both sides. I get Ruben's stance, I get the club stance. We've got to somewhere round it up in the middle and decide whether or not Kobbie Mainoo warrants the contracts, because the club have given one. Well, he's done nothing. And I need to make that clear. And I said at the start, not having a go at Ruben Amorim here in this. I want to open this as a debate topic, really, more than anything else, because this is going to have an effect going forward. Kobbie has done nothing for United all season. He didn't really do much last season either, apart from the odd game. And United, apparently, according to Simon Jones, have offered a contract to Kobbie Mainoo. And Ruben said, no, he's not done enough. So are you on that side, or are you on the side that Ruben has really stubbornly just refused to use him, even though there's been poor performances with other players that Kobbie could have come and stepped in for throughout the first half of the season? It's a bit of a mind twister, isn't it, really, when you think about it? And there is a lot to take in terms of which way Manchester United have gone with this. I do think that has made the contract situation easier for Kobbie Mainoo, hasn't it, in terms of what's agreed now, because Michael Carrick's not going to stand in anyone's way. He is going to be an Ineos yes boy for this next 4 or 5 months, and that's not having a go on Michael Carrick either here, but we know it's the case, don't we? They want to run this football club the way that they want, and the head coach has to just fit in line. They're the players you're having. Deal with them. There is a slight input, maybe, from the head coach, but still, it just looks like it's their way or the highway, and that does concern me a little bit. It does. Right, let's get some comments in on this. Hello, everybody. Good morning. If you are in Manchester, hello. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching from the rest of the world as well. Let's get into some conversation. I'm with you on that. Stu says, Keith, I don't think Mainoo is a top class as people think he is. He never brings speed to games when we need it. He always tries to slow the game down to his ability. Well, he didn't do that against Man City. So I know what you're saying there, actually, Keith, because it has come up before in terms of Kobbie Mainoo's speed and the way that he moves around the pitch. But like I've just said, one game has got us all a bit excited. And we've actually seen that Kobbie Mainoo's covered more ground than Bruno Fernandes from the start of the game against City. Now, that tells you a lot. That tells you 2 things, in fact. That tells you that Kobbie Mainoo has been instructed to put more in by Carrick, and he's taken it on board, which is good. It also makes you feel good about what Michael Carrick's doing, because he has got Bruno Fernandes in a strict number 10 position where he hasn't got as much freedom. So he's harnessing the Bruno energy. If Bruno's not running more than anybody else, that's because Bruno has been told he has a specific role. So that's another plus point for Michael Carrick, in my opinion, as well. But One game does not make a contract. And Kobbie Mainoo still has more to do, is my opinion on this. And you all know that from different discussions we've had before. Where are you at? Connor says, if Mainoo wants Bruno kind of money, let him go. He's still growing and learning and only just got back in the squad. Now, the contract, just to be clear on this, and I don't want people saying that Kobbie Mainoo, according to this show, has asked for 300k a week. That's not the case. As far as we know, The Athletic have reported it was 200k. It then came in between 150 and 180. And they're the only reports we've had over what Kobbie wants. I still don't think he deserves that wage. He's on 40k a week now. He needs to be on more than that. I get that. Double it and some and put him on 100k. Within 2 years, if he's still improving, then you'll get another contract renewal, or we'll look at it again to go up to a certain level. Put incentives in there and make it work for him as well. And it does look like United have done this, but Ruben has an issue with the player, clearly. That's why he's not signed off on it. It's kind of where I'm looking at with this anyway. But United actually had a contract out there, agreed with Kobbie's representatives, according to this report. So that, I think, makes it easier to get a contract now. But again, the bigger point in what we're trying to discuss here as well. Random guy says, I thought Amorim was only the head coach and had no say in player signings. The spin is genuinely insane. Well, Ruben actually in person in a press conference has said that he is in charge of transfers. Let's just use one point actually on this to confirm this, and that is that it was him who made Bruno Fernandes stay. So he said this in an interview towards the back end of last season. We want to build a team around Bruno Fernandes. We don't want him to go. He will stay when he sees the efforts that are being made. I remember Ruben talking about it. So he had an impact on that. The club weren't bothered. So if the club weren't bothered, Ruben did have a say. And if Ruben doesn't say yes or sign off on it, yet again, there you go. If the club says yes and Bruno says yes and the manager says yes, then he can go. It works in players leaving. It works in players coming in. It works in new contracts, same way. So Ruben did have a say on everything that was going on at Manchester United. And you could see that there was an issue there. And I think that's developed more and more and more as the season has gone on this season. And Ruben spat his dummy out. He feels like the promises that were made to him and the powers that were given him were taken away. So, look, I still think that if this is a real story, this came up in that meeting between Ruben and Jason Wilcox. 100% I think it did. United Planet says, if it's true with the wage demands after the social media stints, then Kobbie is acting like he's bigger than the club already. Too many toxic signings, to be honest, better to let him go, live his dream. What we do need to remember here with this is, he will live with that incident at the Bournemouth game with free Kobbie Mainoo. This would have been a pure lash out after Kobbie Mainoo was told something by the club, and Kobbie's obviously spoken with his family and they've reacted to it. I think Kobbie knew about it. He's going to have to live with that. But again, if a player's putting in the performances that are necessary and he's giving everything to this badge, then I don't think the majority of the fan base are going to be bothered. I've always said, if you're going to do things like this, you better back it up on the pitch. Sound like Roy Keane there, don't I? I think that's a piece from the David Beckham documentary on Netflix. And I think Keane was asked about Beckham shaving his head. He says, I don't care what he does. I really don't give a shit what he does in his personal time. Just back it up on the pitch. And he, most of the time, did. So, Kobbie, like I said, his family was shouting the odds. If Kobbie puts in another 5-star performance against Arsenal, the stock rises and the contract talks keep on going. Still not enough. If Kobbie carries on this form till the end of the season, gets Champions League football, then Kobbie gets a new contract. If he plays a big part, say for instance he starts every single game, which if you are a player that's wanting 150 to 200 grand a week wages, you should be. And I think Ineos have even made this stance as well. They will pay big money to players that are playing week in, week out and performing. So if Carrington gets more out of Kobbie Mainoo and he stays in this starting 11 and he goes all the way through to the end of the season, don't forget it's only 16 games, then Kobbie will get a new deal come the end of the year. And if there is one already on the table that has been turned down by the previous head coach, I don't think we're going to be far away from this happening in the next few months with Kobbie anyway. And that's all off this one report. And I have to stress that that is just off that report that we're going on this morning as well. And it's the only one that I've seen. So no one else has spoken about this, and no one else has actually come up with anything but Simon Jones, just to make that clear. Let's see. It looks like he forgot. He has not played in a while, but he has to get in line and fight and look at, and look for a place. I mean, Peter there, in terms of what Pete's saying, I think some home truths. And Michael Carrick again can take a big chunk of praise for this, because he has actually come out and said they're working more on the individual side of training as well. So individual training for players, talking to players, communication. It's about talking to players as well, just as important as it is with the ball at their feet. There has to be a good understanding amongst the players and amongst the staff as well at the football. So Carrick set off like a steam train. He's done really well, and hopefully it continues and we get more player performances that we didn't think we were going to get, like Kobbie Mainoo, because I didn't think we were going to get this Kobbie or that performance against City. Could say, well, he has done it in spells, but that was Kobbie Mainoo's best performance all around for Man United. Forget the goals. Goals can obviously overshadow and give you a YouTube reel for people to use for their own agenda and narrative. But we look at all-around performance, and sat there watching Kobbie in that game. That was Kobbie's best performance for Manchester United. Interesting how that's come now after all this mess. Does he just want to play football? Does he just want to get in that team and showcase and believe in somebody with their instructions like Michael Carrick? It looks like that's what's happened so far. Let's get some more in. I want Kobbie to stay, but stupid wages ain't going your way happen anymore unless we get the odd superstar playing in the future, which I doubt under Jimmy Os. It's a new name, another one. Jimmy Os now, I like it. You go from academy to first team, wages of 50 quid to 120 grand a week, or in the case of Kobbie, he wants to jump from 50 to 100 to 200k plus. He's holding United hostage, but screw the owners. They're screwing us fans anyway. We can't afford that to happen, no. We can't just afford this to just turn into a complete circus behind the scenes. There needs to be some order. Where I get the anger about the owners, Mark, I do think that they have to stand firm with Kobbie here. Look, if United were willing to offer him a contract, then it definitely would have been 200 grand, because they've already made it clear they're not going to do that. So I'd be interested to know what this contract was. I think there would have been a compromise in there, and it would have been a bit less. I mean, for instance, throw your ideas up there. I've done this before. I'll tell you what, let's make it simpler. If Kobbie Mainoo completes this season, like I just said, I know it's a big if and a but if he does actually see this season out playing the way that he played against Manchester City, or in and around that, what's he worth a week? Get your comments in the live chat now. And of course, if you are catching up as well on the video later on, make sure that you do get your comments in there. What's Kobbie Mainoo? I put Kobbie and wages together there. Kobbie Mainoo, yeah, Kobbie Mainoo's wages, what are they worth? What is he on a week, in your opinion, everybody? We have a super chat in there. Thank you very much, Keith, on that one. And he says, Adam, if we sold Mainoo, do we think another club would give him 200k a week? If they definitely wouldn't, why should we? Well, this is the thing. It would all depend, Keith, on where he goes, because you're not going to get that in Italy, guaranteed, which is why he only wanted the loan. Look, he's not stupid, and this is why I think his representation is talking for him. Move to Italy, get a loan deal. We'll get more money in Italy anyway. Well, we can't actually, but there might be incentives, because he still has to be on the wage that he's on at United if he's doing a loan only. The money's in England. We will get another club in England. If you go to Italy and play well, you come straight back. Amorim might not be here. They might have got wind of this contract that's already been offered, apparently, according to Simon Jones. Come back, and obviously then we're going to be on more money. But let's just get you into that World Cup by getting some game time. It just feels like everything has been driven by his agents, and he is just playing along with it. And everyone's playing a part in Kobbie Mainoo's life. He's not saying anything. And that's been a big issue with this as well. We're all making and creating our own opinions of the player and the man off the back of what everyone else is doing. I do believe that a player knows his family and he knows what his family are doing. I do believe a player knows his agent represents him and he speaks for him. I do truly believe in that. So I do think Kobbie has had an idea of what has happened and gone on here. Just get on the pitch and start playing football. When Kobbie Mainoo's contract is up, Kobbie Mainoo is not even going to be in the spotlight. There's only one thing that Kobbie's going to be talked about, and that's his performances, whether they be good or bad. Let's get this contract done. Let's get him in, and hopefully we can harness that same Manchester City energy, because now we've seen it, I believe it. But now I've seen it, I want more of it. So if I know he's not performing to that level, then I know there's something in his head that he's not willing to go. So in a way there, he's not willing to go there, if that makes sense. But now that he has performed that well against the likes of Rodri and that midfield, I want to see that again. So I'm going to be holding Kobbie to them standards now. That's it. That's our best performance in over 2 years in a game of football. So now, yes, all right, and the fans are right behind you for that game, and we love it. But now you're going to have to go and do that all again in the next game. And guess what? The next game after that. And try and keep that going. They're the levels that Manchester United used to keep. And if you can keep them up, then nobody's going to bat an eyelid to any contract situation that's going on. So, yes, that is exactly where we're at right now. Okay, wanting to move on and talk about, well, first of all, let's talk about Benjamin Sesko as well. How do we rate Benjamin Sesko this season at all? There's lots of people talking about Benjamin Sesko and what could have been, I think, more than anything. Quickly, super chat in there as well from John, who says, "Hi Adam, I'm limping around here at home after my knee operation. Give me some good news to ease my pain. United are beating Arsenal tomorrow, mate. How's that? Take that one, and that will make you feel 20 times better. I'm manifesting it, mate. I'm bringing it up. It's happening this weekend." Keep your thoughts coming in as well on Kobbie as we go through. I quickly missed one more legacy chat in there as well. Is it added legacy chats? I think that's what you call them from your side. On YouTube, it's just someone renewing their membership. Thank you, because Daniel Longbottom has almost made the 2-year member mark here on Forever United TV. Morning all, we ready for tomorrow, he says. Thanks for that, mate. To bring that up. Benjamin Sesko, everybody. Talk to me. What are we saying? I'm going to read some bits out from an interview with Benjamin Sesko and his time at Manchester United. So stay with us while we just talk about it, because Chris Wheeler, first of all, makes the point to saying there is little doubt Benjamin Sesko's integration has been made harder by featuring in a struggling United side under 3 different managers in just 6 months. Talk about stating the obvious there, Christopher. But it's true. It's right. That is basically what Benjamin Sesko has had to deal with. Changing the formations. Benjamin Sesko is the most dedicated young player I've ever seen here, a United source said this week to Chris Wheeler. One of his former coaches even said he is better than Erling Haaland as well. Okay. I want to talk like that. I do like stories like that. And I will obviously debate them and discuss them, but I'm a bit old school, I'm sorry. I would rather see performances on the pitch than people talking about him being better. He's not better than Erling Haaland. Maybe his attitude off the pitch is better. I don't know. You have to be fully dedicated as a professional footballer anyway. I think that's a standard. I don't know why. Sometimes you feel like these interviews and then the way that the club put them out and the way the stories are built up are to defend the player. I don't think Benjamin Sesko needs defending right now. He's had a tough start in a pretty chaotic Manchester United season. And he's bagged, 5 goals now? So he was on 3 goals in 2 games going into the derby, but dropped because he was ill. Or maybe Carrick fancied something different. And Carrick has said in his press conference yesterday as well that Benjamin Sesko he still has a lot more to do, pretty much. That's what he was alluding to. He's keeping his feet firmly on the ground and working with him. He is very dedicated. Everyone is saying that, and I like that. That gives us a chance to work with a proper player. But I'm sure Rasmus Højlund gave everything he could as well to Manchester United. And we do have to balance this out. I'm not having a go at Sesko here. I understand the situation and the craziness of what has happened for him in this first season. I actually think we're going to get more out of him. I reckon Benjamin Sesko could get up near 15 goals now this season. I know it's a big shout. I just feel like under Carrick we could get that out of him. So he's got to score 10 goals. I think he can do it. I do. I think he showed in different moments. I think there was the good, the bad and the ugly against Burnley. I think he was bad against Brighton, but as a striker, keep your head up and take that one opportunity that comes your way and it can cover up a poor performance. He got the goal that brought us back into the game. He did everything that he should do. And we've been crying out for a number 9 that just gets in the box and scores goals. Every single one of Benjamin Sesko's goals have come from inside 10 yards this season as well. So a proper striker. And if you play a system where that ball is going into that danger area, into the penalty box, and you've got a striker there who knows where it's going, you're going to get a lot more out of it. Look at what's happening with Haaland now with no Kevin De Bruyne all of a sudden. That ball and that natural ball and knowing exactly where that ball's going to go has left. I know he's had a great start to the season, but he's dropping off now. And obviously when a team falters and you haven't got that absolute quality of Kevin De Bruyne to pull a pass out of the bag or a cross out of the bag for you, the numbers will drop inevitably. I think United's season and the way the formation and everything has been changing hasn't helped him. Sesko practices meditation to stay mentally well balanced. Sources describe a level-headed young man who is quietly driven and not easily swayed by success or failure, which is just as well. Yeah, well put. When he arrived to sign for United, they noted the absence of the usual entourage, just Sesko and his agent, Elvis Basanovic. Again, grounded lad, and I love it. I do. Score goals. So, honestly, it sounds really harsh. I love the dedication. I love the hard work and all of that. Score goals, mate. That's what's going to keep you in this United side, and that's what's going to shut everybody up. All we could say. Another piece here. Sesko on Bruno. When Sesko talking about Bruno playing as a number 10. Playing him as a number 10 is a wonderful thing because he's amazing and an exceptional player. You realise that he makes passes that not everyone is capable of doing. I particularly enjoyed my first goal against Burnley because I knew he was the player capable of delivering the ball in that way and in many other situations. So I'm happy with his move to this position and the passes it provides me. Again, that seemed to spark something in Sesko in that game, didn't it? Look, I'm not saying that's enough because Bruno's there. It's going to make Sesko a better player. It's going to give him better opportunities to prove he's a better player. He's probably the best way of putting it. Let's get some thoughts on Sesko because it's good to actually get some insight into him and see how he is and how he is feeling. And obviously reporting on him as well and what it's actually like, because it did seem a bit strange in the derby that he wasn't in that starting lineup. But again, Carrick proved he made the right choices there. It'd be interesting to see if he starts against Arsenal tomorrow. I don't think he will. I think it might be Mbeumo up again in that free role, because Sesko could be handled by Gabriel and Saliba. By the way, Arsenal have got a fully fit squad for the first time in ages. It's typical, isn't it? Going into the United game. Look, so have we. We're missing a couple, so no real complaints there. Get out there, get the job done. I don't think Sesko starts. I think Mbeumo or Cunha in that number 9 causes Saliba and Gabriel more problems because they're not natural 9s. They're more hybrid versions of a number 9/10 or wide winger. So they're going to move around. So I feel like Sesko won't start. I think he could come on and we could play a different way later on. Just my opinion on this. But all in all, Benjamin Sesko's start to the season, I feel, has been, I think it's been hampered. Obviously, a couple of spells with injuries, illness, changing of managers, systems. That is a crazy start, especially at Manchester United where the pressure's on anyway. Let's get into the comments on this one. Sesko and Gyökeres have both disappointed. I think that ours will come good, but Arsenal have bought a dud. I'm at Arsenal tomorrow, so I hope I'm right. Well, after the derby block, I'm actually confident with you going to the game now, mate. So bring us that luck, buddy. I think you've actually got this. And I think you'll actually bring us the win back anyway. Well, that's what I'm praying for. Let's get some more in. John says, players are worth what the market will pay. Regardless, we have teenagers being crushed by pressure and criticism. In my honest opinion, it's disgusting watching so-called fans being so toxic towards kids. At the end of the day, I said it before, the game has changed and the agents run football now. So if they're coming out and demanding and having a go at certain things that are going on at this football club, this has sparked the whole Paul Scholes and Nicky Butt debate as well with Lisandro Martinez. People coming in and criticising kids. They're players now. They're full-grown men. And they're playing for Manchester United. This is where, obviously, I don't think it's right. I mean, there's abuse and there's criticism. If you're criticising a young player, I think that's fair. Because fair critique is there in every football club. He's representing your team and your club. And if he's not playing well, you are allowed to criticise them. It's the abuse side of it. Yes, I'm totally on board with that, John. But critique, no. They have to take it. They're playing for the best. And they need to be made aware of the standards and what it's going to be like straight away. Otherwise, they'll get too comfortable and you will get the scenarios that we've seen with so many academy players coming out of Manchester United, thinking they're too big, too soon, and it's their careers then that suffer for it. So I do get what you're saying, though, mate. In terms of the abuse, it is disturbing. It really is. But I think critique has to be there. They have to be able to take it. Sesko is on 160 a week and excuses made for his performances. I don't think it's excuses. I just said it. But I don't care for what's been written. I said, just score goals. You're not going to get anything from me. I've gone in on Sesko as well as these academy players coming in terms of performances and things they should do. Like, obviously, you want to give the academy players time because it's hard stepping up into this. But Sesko needs to score more goals. It's as simple as that. That's the only thing. I love the fact that he's working hard, but I did use the comparison just then of Rasmus Højlund. He also worked hard, but was not good enough. He needs to find something now in these last 16 games. He needs to be hitting at least double figures this season. And then next year, the pressure is going to be on him massively. Because that's the one when he needs to deliver even more. He needs to get better each season. And if he doesn't, then we're going to be talking the 2-year scenario again with players. And Sesko falls into that category. He's not going to be let off the hook. No player should be let off the hook. By the way, just on the younger players, I did mention it at the top of the show as well, but congratulations on getting through the next round of the FA Youth Cup. Chido was starring last night, scoring the winning goal in a 2-1 win over Derby County. A job done by Derby on, obviously, JJ Gabriel in that one, but still starring, and lots of praise coming out for JJ Gabriel in that game as well. Good finish by Chido. I don't know if you've seen the goal. Good finish under pressure as well at that moment, which got United that win. But again, lots of promise coming through the Manchester United Academy. The under-18s absolutely destroying it. And onwards and upwards into the next round for Darren Fletcher's team as well. Fletcher back at Old Trafford again. Interestingly enough, we had Jonathan Woodgate, Steve Holland, Johnny Evans, Michael Carrick, Jason Wilcox, all at Old Trafford watching Man United's under-18s. Now, obviously, again, don't want to make a point. Ruben's gone now, but this never happened with Ruben Amorim. The connection, I think, and what Michael Carrick did with his staff, and them all being at the under-18s game last night, I think is big for us. I think it's a positive sign that they're there because he needs to know what's available to him. He needs to know if there's anyone there that he might be able to use instead of going out buying a Wilfred Ndidi. No disrespect to Wilfred Ndidi, but like we said yesterday, it's not really getting anyone on the edge of their seats as a signing, is it? So once again, happy that they're all there, and I think it's good. So Michael Carrick has been at Lee Sports Village for the under-21s. He's been at the under-18s at Old Trafford last night already. He's already doing work and doing plenty of it in looking at what possibly might be available for him as well. And the good that all the coaches were there. That, I think, is Michael Carrick setting the standards as the head coach. His team goes with him. He has to have people with him. And I think if you continue that, then it just bodes well for the future. Look, not wanting to big it up too much, but I just like the fact that that is there and that's happening as well. So I wanted to make a point of that. But yeah, well done the under-18s, lads. And obviously, Scanlon and co from the under-21s earlier in the week. Let's see if we can get the hat-trick against Arsenal this weekend. Oh, no, sorry, I forgot. Well done to the Manchester United women as well in beating Arsenal. So it's a clean sweep so far. Hopefully, the first team don't let us down. So the women win, under-18s win, under-21s win. First team, Ooh, that's the one that's not really too clear at the moment. But look, tough ask. More on that game later on as well this evening, or later on this afternoon. Sorry, with the United Arsenal game. I wanted to bring up before we finish the show already. Thank you so much for all the likes, by the way. If you're loving the content, please do get your likes in on the video, everyone. We just hit the 200 mark, which is great while we're live on a Saturday morning. Good to see so many people in to the chat as well. I love that. We missed last night because there wasn't much news, and watched the under-18s and wanted to chill out for a bit. So I appreciate you all being in the show this morning as well. Hopefully you've got a good day planned out. I'm off to watch my lads play for FC United under-19s in a moment as well after we've finished here. So I hope you've got a good Saturday planned out. In terms of what I said at the top of the show as well, by the way, the Cole Palmer situation, I just wanted to, Romano has said nothing is happening talk-wise, and Chelsea are talking about Cole Palmer being one of the new generation of untouchables. So he's not leaving, like we said. Forget Cole Palmer. You can get excited about the thought of it, by all means, but yeah, Cole Palmer definitely isn't coming to Manchester United. Simple as that. I wanted to talk about them leaks quickly because this is quite ironic. It's funny. Manchester United have launched an internal investigation in an effort to discover how their starting lineup leaked hours before last week's derby. Sunsport obtained the correct starting 11, which seemed to irritate a number of people at the club. This correspondence has been obtaining leaked team or team news periodically for 10 years, yet it seems to cause great offence these days. A former United reporter even wrote about unsavoury leaks which remain an in-joke among patch reporters. That is doubtless down to social media becoming more tribal and more toxic, which has been a knock-on effect on United's response. This written by Samuel Luckhurst yesterday in the Sun newspaper. Now, last weekend, Manchester United's team was leaked. That is factual. So Samuel Luckhurst has written a piece about leaking team news and an investigation coming out. And then Samuel Luckhurst wrote about Manchester United's team on match day against Manchester City last weekend as well. It was Samuel Luckhurst who leaked the team, and then Samuel Luckhurst who's reporting that there's an investigation going on. Yeah, you see where I'm going with that one. It is laughable. It is. But again, like Ruben Amorim leaves, and all of a sudden, bang, in comes the teams, and it's Samuel Luckhurst again who gets that team. Look, does it really affect what is actually going on and how Manchester United are going to play? Are the opposition going to use this to their advantage? You could say yes. But it was leaked at 11:15. Kickoff was, sorry, it wasn't leaked at 11:15. It was leaked about 30 minutes before the 11:15 actual release time for the team, which is official anyway, an hour and 15 minutes before the game every single week. So that, I don't think, it's not too much of a problem. It's just there are certain journalists that come out. Samuel Luckhurst did write about it on Facebook, so he received it. So there you go. He's writing about the problem that he received, basically, is what we're saying. And that, I think, is something that's always been there at Man United. I think the point that we're trying to make here is, and the discussion is, are you even bothered? Are you bothered that the team comes out? To be honest, I don't really care. I don't really. It's not. I don't think it affects anything. I think it's been made. I think there's just a big push to be the one journalist who gets the top story in and around Manchester United at the moment. And the fact that Man United are clamping down on it is probably upsetting a few of these journalists, I don't know, or the ones that are getting the leaks. They're trying to stop people within Manchester United talking to these journalists is what they're doing. And it's interesting to see actually who it is. Like, the team news, if it came out a day before, then there's a big problem. About 20 minutes before, obviously, the official team comes out. Is it going to make much of a difference? I don't know. I think it's just a bit of a bugbear of Manchester United's, and I just feel like it is going to be always there with this football club. It just depends if it bothers you, really, doesn't it, at the end of the day? I just don't think Manchester United want people knowing their inside information, which is fair. I do. Yeah, that's what I said. Like I said, it's like what Stu's saying there. Yeah, it's who's leaking it. Stu made a good point in there. Kaz has just said the same thing to me as well. Like, who at Manchester United is leaking it to Samuel Luckhurst? I mean, it's taking their sort of one up away. But the big problem for United is who is willing within this football club to actually tell the journalist what's going on or give any inside information at all. Like, that needs to be stopped. I get that. The team side of it, yeah, don't really bother me. But it's still, if that man has got information about a team, that man has clearly got inside information within the dressing room, which is dangerous, and that needs stamping out. So hopefully Man United do find the leak, because it just stops the negative running around this football club again, and the circus. And the point made there in that article as well, the in-joke amongst certain local journalists at Manchester United, I'm just sick of people making a joke out of my football club. That's probably the best way I could actually put it across. Like, just stop it. Like, find out who it is. Like, the need to actually come out with this information, though. Like, the clamour for it is desperate, isn't it? It really is. It really is. Let's get some more thoughts. We'll look at the bench, because it's not going to be someone who has been picked, is it? Says Greg. So it won't be that hard. Could it be a player, though? It doesn't necessarily mean it's a player. Now, interesting. I got no idea. Who is savvy to the team news? All coaches and the players. So, yeah, maybe he probably is right there, Greg, in saying that it is obviously clearly a player. I don't get what they get from it, though. What do they get from that? I mean, the other side of it, like I said, like the serious news and other matters, that's a big concern, because that needs to be kept in-house. Team news, what do they get from that? Do they get paid for it? Like, if they get paid for it, then it does need to be investigated. But I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't benefit anyone, really, does it? I mean, look, it is what it is, and it's Man United. Everyone wants to know exactly what's going on at the football club, and there's always going to be a mad clamour to try and find out any extra information, because it's gold on social media, like that reporter said there from Samuel Luckhurst, who's written this piece. So there is a toxicity among social media right now. X, for instance, is full of it, and it just gives people an opportunity to be even worse, I think. But look, stop the sauce, and there's no talking. That's it. So hopefully United do get the bottom of this anyway. And that pretty much is most of the news. Again, quickly, just get into the prediction league, everybody, as well. Be in there before kickoff tomorrow in the Arsenal game. They're your options there. 25 grand up for grabs this month for just entering this game. Of course, you can win one of 5 prizes tomorrow, courtesy of OK Jerseys there as well at the bottom of your screen. They are our match day sponsor here on Forever United TV, so they're doing their giveaway also. And of course, you can wager yourself up in this game as well. When you look at them actual options that you've got there, I'm just going to run through mine right now. Does Gabriel Jesus score tomorrow? I'm going to say, out of all the strikers, I did say no yesterday, but you know what? I fancy Gabriel to score, because he is Man United's nemesis. So Gabriel to score. Martinelli won't get a goal or an assist. I don't think so. Gyökeres won't score. So I've done 3 there already, and I'm already in. So that's good. Say, for instance, I said he was going to score. My options come up at the bottom. Martinelli isn't going to get an assist. And already, there we go. I've got the chance to move forward, as you can see at the bottom of your screen there, to the next section. You can then put a wager on if you want. And automatically, if you do it, as whatever, you don't have to put hardly anything on there. You can play for free as well. It's just a sweepstakes game with predictions. So get in there, and you're already automatically entered into the draw. And then the leaderboard will be pulled up with your name on it, like there is there so far. That is our members in on the game. Get in there now and get your predictions in for the game, everybody. You have up until kickoff to get involved in that one. Let's see if we can beat last week's derby, of which we got 52 people in on the game, which was massive. Let's try and keep growing that, everybody. That is it for now. Thank you so much. Thank you, mods. Thank you, Super Chats. Thank you, everybody, for that debate this morning. Fantastic one as well. How much is Kobbie Mainoo worth wage-wise a week? That's the question I'm leaving you for the comment section below. Give the video a like.